Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Spoken, where it is sports, unscripted. I'm your host, Terry Love. Right next to me, Mr. Lance Twidwell.
You got it right
To
again.
my right, Derrick Williams.
2 times in a row.
Miami Heat. This is our Miami Heat segment right now. They won last night versus the Pacers. Final score was 115 to 83 in Miami. So they got that. I'm sorry, they were in Miami, right? No,
Yeah, it was in Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Just make sure it gets right. Got the white out. Yes. So Miami's victory. Wade and James have they offensively started clicking now? I mean, the last two games they have been dominating. Last game they combined for 70 points. Yesterday I don't know how many points they combined for, but they are still dishing the ball at each other, setting each other up. I've noticed that LeBron James has been setting Wade up to get him into the rhythm of the game, and that's been helping a lot as of late. So as a Miami offense finally started clicking. Let's start with you, Lance, Mr. Miami Heat fan.
The Heat are clicking. Yeah, they finally showed they can actually win games without Bosh, because before, in the regular season without Bosh they were 4-5, I believe, and so that's not a good record. But 126 points between two guys in 2 games is pretty impressive, I'd say. They're both shooting over 50%. They're clicking in a way that is going to win them games against a team like the Pacers. But is this going to be good enough and strong enough to beat a team like the Celtics or the Sixers? I don't think so. I think they're going to have to. Bosh is going to have to find a way to get back into this series. LeBron, and you got to figure that LeBron and Wade are going to get tired eventually. They're going to, if this series goes, 7 games, the Celtics close out tonight possibly. You're talking about a team like the Celtics that get a chance to rest up and get a chance to look and watch the Heat, against the Pacers one last time. To me, they're clicking in. Like I said, they're clicking in a way that's good enough right now. But I don't think it's going to be good enough to get them even further into the postseason, in the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe even into the finals in general. So.
Derrick?
They're just playing one-on-one basketball. This team still has no offense. This team still has no movement. I see 1-4 flats with LeBron up at the top of the key, 4 guys standing across the board. I mean, they're going to score points. They're both great players. We know they can score. We know LeBron can fill up the stat sheet like pretty much nobody else has ever stuffed a stat sheet. I don't think Wade will be able to. I think Wade has had a couple good games, but I think you'll probably see maybe Wade dud it out the next couple nights. I think the series is going back to Miami. I think it will be a game 7. I think Indiana.
Without Granger, huh?
Without Granger. I mean, they're going to go home and they're going to play their butts off, and it's coming back to Miami. So you better be ready. And actually, if it comes back to Miami, I'm picking the Pacers in 7.
Not that I'm shocked by that whatsoever, but some of the things I noticed last night. The reason why I don't believe it's going to go back to Miami for a game 7, I believe it's going to be finished in 6 games, and the Heat win in Indiana. Because if you look at what finally happened, and I think it's going to happen again, because Battier does not shoot that bad for that long. He's eventually going to string a couple good games together, and he showed that last night that when he gets off early, you're going to start getting that guy as a reliable guy and later in the game, and that's what happened. Battier shot well, opened up the court for the Stars. It really did. It spread the offense more, because I know you said they play one-on-one basketball, but last night there was some good passing game. There was some things that were going on with the sub players that you saw. They're like, wow, they really are contributing tonight. Finally, it isn't 9 for 38 anymore. It isn't 11 for 36. There's actually some chemistry going on the court. The Heat reacted to the Pacers in a positive manner, despite saying they wouldn't fight back. The thing that I saw last night, that there was 2 different fights going on the court. The Heat fought in a way like, I'm not going to lose this game. And then they started literally fighting the Pacers. So we'll go on that later. But there was something that I liked, that I saw in the attitude of the Stars last night in the Heat. They said that we're not going to lose this game at home. They've already beat us here. We're proving that we're going to win this game. And we're not going to let it go to 7. We're not going to let you guys come back to this place.
If Indiana would just shut up and play basketball, they would win the series. I think they're an overall better basketball team until they started talking and lighting fire up under these guys. These guys were almost left for dead. They were ready.
But I don't think the Pacers have the depth that we thought they did.
They have the depth.
Because, think about it. They're 29th in the league in assists this year. They couldn't pass the ball to save their life.
They have more depth than that Miami Heat team. That Miami team.
But why?
We're deeper right here.
But why are they averaging barely over 80 points a game?
Who?
The Pacers in this series.
It's the style of play. Just the style of play.
I'm just saying. I mean,
They're clearly deep.
I mean,
in Miami.
the Bulls are a deep team too, but they never were.
They're deep in defense. Look at the Pacers roster and tell me who can take over.
The Pacers are better. They from after LeBron and Wade. The Pacers are a better team.
But where's their Shane Battier? Where's their Mike Miller? Where's their Mario?
Paul
Chalmers?
George is 10 times a better player than Shane.
Why is he averaging 10 points a game this season?
I don't care if he was averaging 3 points. He's a 10 times.
He's a better athlete, yes.
Danny Granger is clearly a better player than Haslem.
But where's he been? That's my whole question.
What's his name? Derrick Collison, way better than Cole. Way better than Cole.
I understand that. They might be
I'm
better
going
players.
down the board.
You're talking about depth, though. You're talking about where's the depth been? If they're a deep team, where's the scoring been? That's my whole question.
The depth had those guys up. George Hill's a lot better player than anybody. Mike Miller. See, they're better down the board. I'm naming guys that they're down the board.
Where have they been?
Their depth had them up 2-1.
But I'm saying
Their depth had them up
when it mattered the most, when it was in Indiana and LeBron was going off, the Wade was going on, where were these guys at?
They blew the coach. I blame the coach for that, and then I blame not getting the ball. Look, he had Hilbert and David West out way too long. He put them back in with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Come on, man, you're not trying to win a ball game like that. By the time you look up, it's 2 minutes left.
Right.
You're down 8. They had both of those guys had 4 fouls. He should have started those guys at the beginning of the fourth quarter. That ball game was still winnable. Indiana should have won that ball game Sunday. They blew it, and then they kind of got knocked off the rocker again. Miami went home
But
feeling good.
Spolstra's made mistakes too. You've said you've criticized him viciously about not being a good coach, and they'll never win a title under him.
They will never win a title under Eric Spoelstra.
But yet they are playing championship style basketball without one of their stars. How is that
They're
possible?
playing championship basketball because
I
they have
understand
2
that,
superstars.
but that's where my whole argument comes into play.
No,
the Pacers have really not as much depth as we initially thought.
No,
they might have had it earlier. They might have shown glimmer or little spurts of it.
It's
but
not
they
even
didn't.
that. It's not even
There's
that.
no consistency.
The Indiana doesn't have a superstar. They have 2 superstars on Miami. That's where these last two games are won. You just gave me a bunch of fancy numbers that were LeBron and Wade were combined in the last 2 games.
I'm not comparing their depth.
No,
I'm saying that the Pacers aren't as deep as we thought they were.
They are deep. LeBron and Wade has single-handedly won these last 2 games by themselves.
Yeah.
But when Granger goes out, who stepped up? Nobody. Because they don't have a guy that can score 25
Because they don't have a
points besides-
superstar. If they had a
That's
superstar
my
and somebody,
whole point.
that's
Where's the depth at
Right,
scoring
well,
wise?
wait.
it's not the depth thing. The depth.
He said that base had depth without having a superstar. So
They have the depth. The depth in
that's what you're saying.
both benches have not won this game. Miami's bench has done nothing to help Miami go up 3-2. Indiana's bench has not done anything. All right, 2 superstars, LeBron and Wade, have won the last 2 games single-handedly.
Right.
Look at the numbers you just said they combined in the
Yes.
last 2 games. It's simple math.
But that isn't what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying is the Pacers, I didn't say they're not deep. I'm saying they're not as deep as we might have thought they were, because we thought coming into the series they're going to have some guys that come off the bench and answer and hit some big shots, get some rally ups and points. Who is
George Hill?
George Hill's been hit big shots this series.
Yes.
Where?
Go back.
What game? What games?
Go back when they went up, game 3 in Indiana. Check his numbers. He had a big game in game 3. What do you think? George Hill had a big game in game 2. The one they won in Miami. Without a superstar. Those guys, George Hill don't start.
Now,
Go look at Derrick Collison's numbers.
That's what I'm saying,
Derrick
yeah.
Collison came off the bench.
That's what I'm saying.
Derrick Collison was off the
Same thing
bench.
with the Heat too. I mean, so you have Battier 3 for 3. And who knows if he's going to show up the next game? Same thing with Wade too.
And when it comes down to depth, I mean, the whole point is this: in this series, whoever had more points in the third quarter won each game. So if you look at it, you're going to need guys late in the game to help. And Hibbert has disappeared in the second half. They showed his numbers last night. He does really well in the first 2 quarters, and in the third and fourth quarter, he just literally disappears.
But he's a starter. He has nothing to do with depth.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with
He's
depth?
a starter.
So they expect more from him than a guy from the
Yeah, I
bench.
know. But I'm saying,
Yeah,
but
details, some of
I'm
that
just
bench
talking
players.
about depth. When I'm talking some depth is after 5.
What I'm saying is, if I could revise, they don't have the scoring depth. If you look at this whole team, they didn't have nobody. Granger gets hurt. Who was scoring for that team? Nobody. That's my whole
They
point.
have way better
Nobody can
scoring
answer.
depth than the Miami Heat ever. Look.
How? Based off what?
Look, there's anybody on Miami's bench that can come in and get you 20 points? No.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, they're not.
Shane Battier showed last night he can come off and give you 12, 15 points.
I said 20
They don't need a
points.
guy to give you 20 points. They don't need a guy to do that. You get Chalmers give you 9, 10, 11.
I mean, you guys need to
You
announce
get-
his Bosch is out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, well, obviously against the Celtics.
You're going to need a guy that can come off the bench and get you 20 points, man. If you want to survive and advance in this
How did they score
NBA,
115 points last night without a guy that scored 20
two
besides?
superstars.
So they need that, but you
Two
just said they
superstars on point.
destroyed the Pacers.
I'm
without
saying
that.
you're going to need a guy sooner or later in these playoffs. If you think you're going to win a championship, this one of these nights where we've seen where one of your superstars checks out
And
and
the other one
isn't
follow
there,
later.
you're going to need a
Right.
guy. All right, you're going to need a guy that can come in 20 because you never know. You
But
might
who needs it more, the Pacers or the Heat?
the Pacers or the Heat.
Yeah, who needs a guy to step up and score more? Because LeBron can score. They don't have a guy that can do that.
Well, that's probably all the time we have right now for
That was like quick, shoot.
segment 1 of The Spoken. Right now, our NBA segment part 1. Join us. We'll be right back for part 2. Very interesting debate.